You're listening to Power Femme Radio. This is a podcast where ladies come together and try to share their opinions and empower each other to be better women in society.
Did he just say try? You're listening to Power Femme, where women don't try, we do. Guys, welcome back to the Power Femme podcast. This is the second episode, and it's going to be juicy. I have my amazing friend Stevie here. She is an absolute dream. You are going to be so inspired by this episode, I promise. But I wanted to mention, if you have not already subscribed, what are you doing, girlfriend? Give your girl some love. This is episode 2, and I really want to start off strong, and I can only do that with your help. So please hit subscribe so you can be the first to know when a new episode comes out. Let's dive into the show. I'm literally so excited right now. Okay, today we have the beautiful, the one, the only, Stevie Wright. Stevie is a transformational embodiment mentor and breathwork facilitator who specializes in helping people open portals to their unlimited potential. She applies somatic embodiment, breathwork, deep psychology, and subconscious practices to help her clients live full, fun, creative, and limitless lives. She's the founder of the Breath Channel, a breathwork membership platform that has attracted thousands of members for its fast and effective breathwork practices. As a teenager, Stevie made it to the top 36 of American Idol and sang for America. Her unique way of relating with the world is one of pure receptivity. She believes in unlimited wealth with no resistance. You guys, she's on track to do $1 million in her business this year. So talk about a powerhouse. Stevie offers high-level coaching to individuals and groups, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome her to the Power Femme podcast.
Thank you so much.
Oh my
that's beautiful.
God.
Thank you.
Of course. Wow. Like reading that, I'm just like, you're so incredible. The second you walk in, I feel your energy. You know what I mean? Like
We came in dancing.
we did come in dancing. I had the music loud and you were singing. Stevie's obviously a singer. You guys, Stevie actually was on the Hustle and Flow podcast.
How long ago was that?
Oh my God, I think it was like 2 years ago.
At least 2 years, yeah.
Yeah. So we talk all about her American Idol experience there. If you want to go back and listen to that, it's amazing. She talks about how she found breath work and how she found her confidence and basically overcoming a lot of trauma with being in the industry, and then you found yourself as a coach. So definitely go check that out. But today we want to focus on how your inner reality creates your outer reality. So... God.
I haven't heard what's on her notes. I've been like peering over her notes. Like, what's she gonna do? What's she gonna do? I'm like, ooh.
I know. I'm like, where do I even begin with you? Because I just like there's so much I want to touch on. Well, let's start here. Okay, for my listeners who don't know, what are somatics?
Yeah, somatics is a beautiful. I mean, I could talk about somatics for the whole podcast.
I know.
So essentially, soma means body. So somatics means relating with the body. And a lot of my work that I do with clients is surrounded around somatics because our trauma, our limiting beliefs, our patterns, our old wounds, they actually don't work in the mind. They're not heady. They're actually stuck in the body. And so I've heard so many times, and maybe some of you guys can relate, I know I can relate with my own process, that, you know, I've done tons of manifestation work, tons of mindset and thought work, which is all beautiful and wonderful. But if you're not working with the body as well, I think you're really missing a big piece of the healing journey, because there's all sorts of stuck, stagnant energy that's been locked in your body. And when you think about trauma is anything that takes us out of the present moment. So if you think of a surprise, when you're surprised, someone goes like that, you go, and there's a shock, and your body would go like that, and it tenses. That's what happens with trauma. It can be a big T trauma, like a big happening or an event, or even just a little T trauma, like the ways that we're met over and over again, or dynamics, painful dynamics in our household growing up. Those little shocks to the body, they don't just go away even when the shock is over. That tightening, that gripping stays, because our little bodies as children, we don't have the resources or the know-how of how to process that through. So then what happens is there are all these little stuck pockets of frozen energy that never got to, that was supposed to move, that never got to move. And when that happens, think about it like a necklace. When there's a knot in a necklace, there's less necklace, right? It's shorter.
Yeah.
Our bodies are the same way. When we have all of these little knots all in our nervous system, in our tissue, there's less of us available to our lives. We have less energy. We have less availability for presence or positive thinking or excitement or joy or pleasure, because there is some amount of our energy bound up in these little frozen pockets. So basically somatic work is applying warmth to those frozen pockets so that eventually they can soften and thaw and move as they were always meant to move.
What a beautiful explanation. Holy cow.
Yeah, I got that. I have so many wonderful mentors, and one of my mentors who teaches me somatics, who also does somatics on me, her name is Stacey Matulis. You should all check her out. She's incredible. But she really taught me about what somatics is and what it means and how to apply it to our lives.
First of all, does everybody have trauma, right? Like, can you be blissfully unaware of your trauma?
Totally.
You can
But
be blissfully. It creeps in though still.
So you can be blissfully unaware of your trauma. It can be out of your consciousness, out of your awareness, but our trauma still affects the way we show up in our lives. It still affects the way our recurring patterns. If you have something that you're like, I just cannot get over this one thing, like, why do I keep experiencing the same thing? Why do these guys keep not texting me back? Or why can't I seem to stop self-sabotaging? That's trauma. That there's a trauma pocket that has been bound up and hasn't been able to move, and then surfaces up as a pattern, a behavior, a way that you show up in the world. And so in this work, it can be really helpful to notice, why is this showing up for me over and over again? Same situation, different days, same situation, different person, you know, and it's actually a really exciting thing to find. It's so frustrating, but actually it can be very exciting when you find a pattern that you're like, damn, what is this? It's, you know, it's often trauma.
Wow. Okay. So today I was doing breath work on the Breath channel. I was doing breath work for alignment, which makes perfect sense for what you're talking about right now, just with these trauma wounds being in your body, and it's less of you available. And just with you talk, like alignment, right? It's like you breathe and you try to basically like align your chakras, align your energy. But if you aren't doing that, then there's like all of this misalignment, right? And so you speaking about trauma being like the most frustrating thing in the world, like dealing with these patterns in your life can be so freaking frustrating, I know firsthand, but it's actually very exciting. And in your breath work today, the breath work, which is on the Breath channel, breath work for alignment, you said that it was something along the lines of like ultimate alignment comes with an unconditional welcoming in your life. What is unconditional welcoming?
It means welcoming all of your feelings, the flavors, the sensations. Specifically what I was talking about in that video on alignment is, I think people think in the spiritual world, in the self-help world, that alignment is meaning like, I have to be, I'm high vibe, I'm totally all good. My chakras are totally aligned. Like there's nothing out of whack. But actually, alignment is being present with what is. So even if there's something that you don't like, instead of resisting it, instead of saying, no, I just gotta get in alignment, and then it shifts, actually you're resisting it. Alignment could actually look like, okay, this fucking sucks, I don't like it, but I'm gonna be welcoming of what is right now. I'm gonna be accepting of what is right now. And actually that is what helps it to move through. When we have all this resistance to something that we don't like, we're just going, no, I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't want it. There's no flow in that, and nothing can change from that place. There's no flow.
Right.
When you go, okay, this is where I'm at right now, and that's okay. You actually are giving yourself space for the universe to say, okay, here's something more. You know, let's move through this. You can actually move through it because you're not gripping around it. You know?
Wow. And it's actually a lot more painful to resist than it is to just go with the flow.
Yeah.
So essentially, in a way, resistance is also a form of embodiment.
I've never thought about it that way, but totally.
Right? Because it's a choice.
Yeah.
Resistance isn't something that happens to you. Resistance is a state that you're in.
Yeah, and you're embodying the gripping.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. You can embody whatever you want. You can embody what you want to evoke more of. You can embody what you want to feel and what you want to desire and the reality you want to live in. And you can also embody frustration and gripping and annoyance and resistance. Like, you can totally.
Okay, so since I asked you what somatics is, and we're already using embody, this word, right? You're actually the first person who ever introduced me to the word embody. I remember like 2 or 3 years ago, I was on an Instagram live that you were doing with breathwork, and I think it was like breathwork for manifestation. That one, that is like such a juicy one. Literally one of my favorite ones. And you were talking about embodiment, and I just remember being like, what is embodiment? Like, I felt it and it worked, but I'm like, okay, so for those who are listening, they're like, what the fuck is embodiment?
Yeah.
What is that? And why is it important?
I worked with a polarity teacher named John Wineland. Maybe you guys have heard of him, but he has a really beautiful definition of embodiment, and I use it all the time in my work because I think it's my favorite way to describe it. He says that embodiment is taking an ethereal concept, like, you know, something that's not tangible, something that you can't quite touch, like magnetism or love or power or presence, like something that you can't quite feel, that's not quite concrete, but you make that energy, the energy of whatever that is, so felt in your body that not only do you experience the world from that embodiment, that place, say it's love, you're experiencing the world from a place of love, but also the world experiences you from their body. So it's this really beautiful kind of like cyclical thing that happens, and it just basically means like taking something non-tangible and making it tangible in your physical form. Yeah.
Wow, so it's almost just like that. This is why I love breath work and I love the breath channel, because you have so many different practices that are super fast, super effective for every single thing. You have breath work for feminine embodiment. You have breath work for manifestation, breath work for anxiety. That's like one of my favorite ones. Breath work for anger,
period pain,
magic mornings.
Yeah, the abundance. I mean, we just added, and there's guest teachers in there too. And for anyone who doesn't know, the breath channel is my breathwork membership. It's monthly. It's donation based. You can pay whatever you want. We have almost 1,500 members in there. It's really my baby. I've been working on it for over 2 years now, but we just added a few more in there. Breathwork for find your flow, breathwork for self-soothing, breathwork for getting out of numb and dissociation. What else did we do? There's so many. We have over like 150 practices, I think now, something like that.
It's actually the most incredible thing. I talk about it all the time, and also like I've been using the breath channel for 2 years now, and it helped.
You started at the beginning.
Yeah,
the very beginning.
Very beginning.
Yeah,
and it's hands down probably one of the best practices that I have to this day, and I still feel like I've even learned so much. I'm constantly learning on my journey, but what a beautiful tool it is. Aside from breathwork practices, which if you're not already doing this every single day in your life, I feel like breathwork is actually great because it's almost easier than meditation. It gives you like that mantra to come to.
Exactly. And I think I love meditating, but meditation when I first started was really hard for me. And if you're someone who really struggles with meditating, breathwork is a really good option because it's an active form of meditation. So you're using a mantra, you're using a specific breath practice that you have to stick with, you're staying on the beat, I'm kind of counting you, and it's something that you can really it's almost like a beautiful trance where you are following something, your eyes are closed, you're following my voice, but then you're also so dropped into your body. So it's a great practice if you struggle with meditation and struggle with dropping in.
Okay, here's what I was going to ask you. It comes back all the time. So, okay, I love that this is now donation based. This is like literally one of the coolest things I've seen, because I'm really big on making these tools accessible. Yeah. I feel like there needs to be more resources out there. I actually remember when my dad was in the hospital for the first time, I remember texting you, and you didn't have any videos yet of your breath work, but you were a breath work coach for a while.
Yeah.
And I remember texting you being like, I need a breath work, blah, 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 and you sent me a video that wasn't you. So I'm so glad that you now have this breath channel.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So you've made this amazing thing, and first it was, I think it was $20 a month at first, and
Mm-hmm.
now it's donation-based. So how did you arrive at a point where you were like, I'm going to make this donation-based. This makes sense. How?
I was at one of my dearest girlfriend's house, Sam Rader, and we were talking about the breath channel. We were talking about just our businesses, and we were just kind of like visioning and thinking about what we want for the future for each of our businesses. And she had just finished reading this book called A More Beautiful World, Our Hearts Know Is Possible by Charles Eisenstein. And in that book, he talks about the abundance economy, which basically is like, if we all as a community, as friends, as people in tribe, if we all give our gifts, everyone's needs can be met. Everyone can have what they need. You provide the blueberries, I provide the dairy. If the tribe gets together and provides what we need, provides its gifts to the tribe, everyone gets to have abundance. And she was like, oh my God, wait, Stevie, you should do the breath channel donation based. And it was crazy. It was like a shock went through my system, because an older version of me would have been like in scarcity, like, no, I couldn't possibly, I can't, no, I can't do that. What if and it was like a shock went through me, and it felt like the biggest yes I've ever felt. It was like, oh my God, that's it.
Wow.
That's it. Yes. And, I had one of my team members, I told her, I was like, we have to do this within 2 weeks. We were donation based. We had switched our whole platform. Shout out to Sid. She did the most incredible work. But it really, I had a lot of people saying, I want to be part of this, but I just can't afford it right now. I want to be part of this, but I'm trying to pay off my credit card. I really want to be part of this. It's not about the content, but I have to cut costs right now. And something just did not feel good about that to me. And I was like, no, I really want this to be accessible, and I want it to be something that if you need to join at 0 or 2 or 5 or 10 or whatever it is, you're welcome here. And if you have the means to pay 20 or more, I trust you. And that was what was so powerful about it. I released this video to my community, and I said, I trust you. I trust your integrity. I trust that if you have the means, you will pay $20 or whatever you can pay. And if you don't, and you need to lower your donation or go to 0, you're also welcome here. And I also trust that if you come in at 0, and when you do have the means, you'll change your donation. I trust that too. Wow. And it was so profound, because so many people who had the means doubled, tripled, quadrupled their monthly donation.
Wow.
And ones who really needed the space to have it at 0 or 5 or whatever, they came in, and it was like the gratitude from people was bonkers. Wow. It was like, I think that video got reshared like 200 times, wow. And it just like spread like wildfire. And it really was the best decision I've made in my business, because, we're almost at 1,500 members now, and it's like the community is so rich in every way. And it feels like such a, when you talk about the abundance economy and offering your gifts, like the breath channel feels like my gift.
Yeah.
And the way that people give back, whether it be in sharing, or whether it be in financially, or telling their clients, or you telling the people in your community, I'm so fed in it. I'm so fed.
What an abundance mindset you have to be able to do that. Because I feel like true abundance abundance is, again, something that you need to embody. I feel like you either only give into a scarcity mindset where you believe that there's lack in the world and there's limited resources and there's just not enough money, there's not enough opportunity, or there's the abundance, which is just the true trust and belief that everything is working out for you and what's meant for you will reach you. It's so freaking beautiful. Yeah. So I commend you for your abundance mindset on that, because look at how it's awarded you 100-fold, 1,500-fold,
It
right?
really has. It's been such a special experience.
And your work is changing lives. I only know because it has changed mine so profoundly, and it's been just like literally, Stevie, incredible.
Wow.
Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this episode so far. I just wanted to interrupt for one quick second because I have to tell you about the Breath Channel. What is the Breath Channel, you ask? Well, the Breath Channel is a breathwork and meditation and embodiment membership. It's a donation-based monthly membership full of exercises, practices, tools, and training for you to release stress, gain energy, get grounded, feel peace, calm, and reach your peak state. This is a community of people who are moving toward vitality, aliveness, connection, more self-acceptance, self-love, and have the common goal of feeling better in their day-to-day lives. You guys, I've had so many noticeable shifts in my life in the way that I communicate with myself and the way that I understand myself, in the way that I'm showing up with other people, with my team, with my friends, and my relationships. And this has been probably the most helpful tool in allowing me to overcome any anxiety that's been holding me back, especially in this hard season of my life where I'm changing careers, I've lost a parent, life's been crazy, it feels like the weight of the world is on me, I feel like I'm showing up so huge in so many different ways, and the imposter syndrome can be so loud. Some mornings I wake up and I just feel so defeated. And I know that that's like probably surprising for you to hear, but it's true. Sometimes I just feel so defeated. And the one thing that I can always count on is the Breath Channel. It doesn't matter if I don't have a direction for my day, if I don't know what I'm going to be doing. All I have to do is click a button, get on my phone, click a button, and literally at my fingertips, there's 52 breathwork exercises that I can choose from to help get me in a better mood. One thing is for sure, I always feel better after a few minutes of breath work. And Stevie, she does such a wonderful job of guiding me through the experience and really just making me feel so at peace in my body. The Breath Channel might be the most magical way to start your mornings. And I say that because she literally has a practice called Breathwork for Magic Mornings. With over 50 breathwork videos, the Breath Channel gives you so many options to choose from. There's breathwork for abundance, healing anxiety, clarity, energy, emotional eating, and period pain. Oh yeah, I said it, period pain. Not to mention my personal faves, breathwork for feminine embodiment and breathwork for manifestation. It's truly so powerful. After I complete these breathworks, I literally feel like $1,000,000. If you are someone who's been struggling to hit their morning routine and you feel like you need a little extra accountability, consider signing up for the Breath Channel today. I have a link below in the show notes just for you. If you click that link, it'll take you to the Breath Channel where you can sign up and get your membership. Like I said, it is donation based. I believe it starts at $20. Honestly, in my opinion, the best $20 you will ever spend. But if you feel like maybe that's not doable for you right now, no worries. You have the option to donate less. And if you feel so abundant, you can donate more. Don't worry about breaking the bank so that you can start to feel better in your body today. No, own your power now. Head on over to the Breath Channel, make a donation, and commit to your daily practice of connecting to your breath. I know, it's going to make a difference in your life. I love you, and let's get back to the episode. I love what you're talking about right now with sharing your gifts with the world. This is kind of the perfect transition because I feel like I went through a year of complete just change, leaving my coaching business, thinking I wanted to do real estate. My dad died. I spent a whole year getting into real estate, and then like that didn't even work. But I still trust and believe that money and that time that I invested was for my growth. Yeah. But now I'm finally in a place where it all makes sense. Like every little thing, every little detour
on your journey,
it has clicked. It didn't make sense while I was in it.
Yeah.
But I'm finally in a place where I'm like, you made a post the other day. It was like that moment when you know all your dreams are coming true. Like that's kind of where I feel like I am right now. And it's like, it's because I know that I'm using my gifts to do what I'm meant to do. Like it's just trusting that. So
good for you, Heidi.
Thank you.
Good for you.
I mean, it's hard, right? It's like, there's a meme on Instagram that's like this kid crying, and it's like, I don't want to go through any life experiences that don't kill me but make me stronger anymore. Like, that's literally freaking me right now. But no, not right now, because I'm grateful for that. So, but I've allowed creativity to step in and take me on my journey. And I know that you are a singer as well as a coach. And so I'm curious for you, at what point did you allow creativity to be a part of your process? And like, how did you see that abundance mindset, that allowance, that unconditional welcoming shift things for you?
So this question is really interesting because I have had my entire life had a really tough relationship with creativity.
That's crazy, because you are
Tough.
so creative.
Tough.
Like I see you and I'm like, creative bitch.
Wait, that's so nice. Thank you.
I
appreciate that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen myself as that for most of my life. I think for me, because we talked about this a little bit, if I'm remembering correctly on the first podcast, but I've been a singer my whole life and a performer, and my performer was always really nurtured, and it was like very applauded and seen as valuable and seen as worthy, and I could feel that from a young age that my performership, my like stage presence was something that was really valued in my family system, of course, which, I mean, they were proud parents, proud family. But I also felt like the artistry never got to really be nurtured because I was so forward in the performer archetype, which is a beautiful part of me, and I love that part of me, and I am a performer. I know how to hold a room. I know how to carry a stage. I know how to, I was in a band for almost 11 years, no, almost 12 years, and I know how to take a room of 5,000 people and like hold them with me here. That's a real talent of mine.
It's a gift. Yeah.
It's a gift. And I also wish that I had some support with nurturing the artist. Yeah. The part that's quiet. The part that's not the part that's like very in her feelings and very in her tenderness and pain and emotions, and like creating from that channel. That was not something that I had. And so I was in, even like things like I was in a cover band. I didn't write my own music, right? I have all these experiences where I felt like, but I'm a performer, but I'm not creative. I'm not an artist.
Wait, pause. It's interesting that you were in a cover band.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Like, that's so interesting.
Very
it's like,
holographic.
It's like, it transcends. Like, it's like.
It's concrete, but it's also a metaphor.
It's so deep. Okay, go on. Because it's like, you're a cover, like you're the performer, but
it's not me. It's not me. It's not my essence. It's not my journey. It's not my experience, and so I really fought with that for honestly most of my life. And even when it came to my coaching business, I felt like even though I was doing such good work and I was touching so many people, I had a lot of imposter syndrome. I had a lot of fraud energy because, as I said before, I've had so many incredible mentors who've taught me such beautiful work. But I felt like I was just teaching their stuff. I didn't feel like I was teaching from my own experience or channel. And I know that's not fully true, because I know that, that's how information gets spread. We're all pulling from.
And you put your essence on it.
It's through my voice. It's through it has my flavor. It has my energy. It has my transmission. But there was a belief for a while, So even in the last truly 6 months, I've been working on this new program called Embodied Confidence. And it's been such a transformational shift for me in the creation process of it, because I finally feel like I'm creating something from my own experience. Like, I'm really taking my experience with how hard American Idol was, how that whole experience, and how I didn't let it break me. Fully break me. And even when I started coaching about 6 years ago, I had so much hate. I got so much flack. I got so many people making fun of me. And Stevie and her little video, I had people tell me, Stevie, people are talking. You know, I've had people tell me like, you are fake and you're going to damage your clients. I've had so many really kind of vicious energies coming at me and projections coming at me early on. And like my process of saying, no, fuck you, I'm doing this. I have something to say. I know I can hold space for people. And the process of not abandoning myself, the process of not believing the lies, the process of not believing the projections, the process of not letting it squash me, and also not just the projections coming from the outside, but then the self-doubt that I would experience and how I wouldn't let that, I would have a moment, but I wouldn't let it spiral me and I wouldn't believe it. And that is such a true, authentic process of my own that now that I'm creating a program around it of how to build like true, authentic confidence, how to nurture it, how to develop it, how to, like, what is it when you, I guess, nurture, when you like nurture a plant, when you nurture a seed to life. And now I feel so deeply confident, and not all the time, but most of the time I feel deeply confident in who I am and what I do. That's what I'm teaching in the program. Wow. But it's like, it's mine.
It's yours.
It's
and that
mine.
comes from believing in and loving and trusting your creativity.
Yeah. So that's what I was going to say to your question is, I mean, to the question about when, 6 months ago, recently, recently, but also to the moment that I really started trusting that my experience has power and it has depth, and not just other people's powerful experiences and powerful processes and how they create their work is the valuable thing, that I have something valuable to say from my own authentic voice. And it feels like artistry. So it feels like such a win, not just in the, I was telling Heidi right before we started filming that in the first like 6 days, like 37 people signed up, you know, which was like,
unreal.
Oh my God, like it's so exciting, you know, but so not just in that, but in that people are signing up for something that's mine, you know, something that's mine. And it just feels like a new world for
Nothing
me.
feels better.
Yeah.
Nothing feels better.
Yeah.
And that's why imposter syndrome sucks.
Yeah.
That's why it sucks, because you
Yeah.
feel like you're, and I feel like I've said this on previous episodes in this season as well. It's just like there's two types of imposter syndrome. There's the imposter syndrome that's screaming at you because it's like, no, bitch, you're out of alignment. Like this actually isn't for you. And then there's the imposter syndrome that just comes from not being qualified or not having enough experience for you to confidently say no, like this is,
which is valid.
Totally.
Which is valid. And that's a great point of, if there's something that you're actually, you know what, actually, I think I do need more training in this. You know, there's something really beautiful about that. Your intuition is saying, actually, I have imposter syndrome because I'm actually needing more development here. Yeah. Yeah. And that's okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great point.
Wow. I also just want to say something that inspired me as you were talking about all of that, was just that, like, I'm an actress and I've always had that dream to be an actress, similar to you with that dream as a child wanting to be
a rock star,
right? Yeah. And so I had that idea of what it looked like, and I think I tried so hard to control it, and I had these expectations for my 20s and what that would look like. At that point in my life, and at that point in my consciousness, and at that point in my journey, I thought I owned my creativity. But now, having gone through my 20s and through the resistance, the flow, the high, the low, the what the universe, like, why am I here moments, I now know that I don't own my creativity. And creativity is, it's something that just, it's its own energy, and it flows through you, and there you do have your own creative well, but it doesn't belong to you. I feel like it's intimately yours, and I feel like it's almost like,
and it's also God's.
It's also God. Yes. Okay, hold on. Yes. And so there's like that exactly. It's like you don't own it. It's like God, but it's like it's your creative DNA. Like there's something just so unique. So when you go within that well and you trust yourself of like, no, like I'm going to tune out the noise and actually just look within and stop looking out here at what other people are doing. And like, should I try this? And maybe this doesn't feel right for me. Instead, maybe just like taking a moment, looking inward and feel, like you said, just feeling your way into it. Yeah. I have a question for you. Actually, this is a quote, another quote of Stevie's. She's so amazing. I love what you just said about God. I want to talk about seeing God in people and circumstances and all of this. And this kind of goes along with what
we're going to be here for 5 to 6 hours. Thank you.
I know. Can you come back? Yes, come back for another tomorrow. Day. Yes. So this has a lot to do with kind of what you were receiving, those messages of Stevie. People are talking and like, you know, those projections, which I love that you're aware enough to receive those as projections and not own those as truth. But in another breathwork, I think it is the same one, breathwork for alignment, you say at the end, you say, this is so beautiful, you guys. This was like an organic thing from her too. So it's just like, it's great. Okay. What if instead of seeing a trigger as a bad thing, something that knocks you out of alignment, what if instead this was a way that God was trying to harvest your fullness in this moment? If there's someone trying to trigger you, can you see this person, this situation as God, universe, source, whatever you call it? Can you see it as God trying to harvest this fuller version of you? What if this situation was bringing up your shit so that you could feel it, integrate it, and come into your truth and into your alignment?
I forgot about that one.
That is like just so good. I think we look at things in life and we look at like our hard lessons and our triggers and the people who are directly in our life too. And we're like, what the fuck? You like, you're in my way. Yeah. You're slowing me down. You're triggering me. You're knocking me out of alignment. So I think it's so powerful. It's a very powerful perspective shift if you can just let yourself see the person, the circumstance as God.
Yeah. And also like there's a lot of theories in, you know, when we talk about 5D consciousness or in the quantum realms and stuff, that everyone is just you.
Yeah. We're all reflections of each other.
I created you, you created me, and I am a projection of your consciousness and you're a projection of mine. And so when someone says and triggers you, you're talking to you. You know,
it's beautiful that you said, you're like, I created you and you created me, because that means I created you and you created me. Yeah. It's the same, right? Yeah, for everybody.
Exactly.
And like Stevie, like you walk in the room and like my palms start sweating. Like I'm just, like, and it's not a bad thing. It's just you ignite something in me that's like, see you're a really good trigger for me. The word trigger is maybe not the right word. Example is probably good, sure. But it's scary as fuck when you see somebody who walks into a room and they make you think that you can actually live up to your potential.
Oh my God, that's such a compliment.
It's so scary.
You said can, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so nice. I just really want to take that in for a second.
I mean it. Yeah, no, for sure.
Oh my God, wow.
And yeah, take it in.
Thank you so much. I really received that. And I really appreciate it. It feels really powerful for me. I really appreciate you saying that. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
It's truth. It's truth. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, you're getting emotional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like such medicine, you know. It feels like really supportive for my system to hear that, and I like supportive for you. This sounds like supportive for yours too, and it just feels like really, just feels really beautiful. So thank you.
Yeah, your energy is like a cellular upgrade.
Wow.
So before we lose you guys, because Stevie mentioned the 5D, and I don't want to lose you guys. Like, what the heck is that? We talked a lot about that in our last episode together. So again, just go find her episode with Hustle and Flow. But Stevie, can you touch on what the is the 5D?
Yes. We took a break just a second ago and she said, can you do it in 3 minutes? And I'm like, I like a challenge.
Yeah. This is going to be very complex. So like,
I learned about this from Dr. Joe Dispenza. He's incredible, my manifestation guru guy. But he talks about the quantum formula, which is basically a clear intention plus an elevated emotion equals your desires. So breaking that down, meaning a clear intention. What do you want? What's the manifestation that you're going after? What's the desire? What do you want to call in? And then an elevated emotion, meaning how would it feel to experience that thing as if it was already here? So imagine and visualize, okay, so let's say you're manifesting a partnership. So the elevated emotion would be imagining, what does it feel like to have their arms around you? What does it feel like cuddling in bed with them, coffee in the morning? What's it feel like to dance with them on a dance floor? What's it feel like to have sex with them? What's it feel like to be in the energy of a lover, to be with a lover, and letting your body feel that feeling, because your body doesn't know that it's not happening. Your body, and this is why embodiment is so powerful, your body doesn't know that it's not happening. So when you're teaching your body how to feel that feeling, feel the emotion and let it expand and amplify, you collapse time and space. You collapse time and space and get into a new timeline where you are experiencing it now. But the trick is to act and feel and be as if it is now. Because the thing is, in some timeline, there's many other timelines than this one. In some timeline, in another dimension, it is happening. It is happening. And so if you just align yourself with, what would it feel like if I was in that dimension? Ooh, who's the Stevie who is already in that? Wow, okay. Ooh, ha, ha. Like getting into a practice of feeling that, you will collapse space and time, and you will draw that thing to you, because it is already happening, and your body will get on board with that. So does that answer the question?
That totally answers the question. It's totally crazy. I mean, we could literally do 10 podcast episodes on this, like a whole podcast show on this.
Yeah.
You guys, so Stevie told me that she would give just Power Femme listeners a little link that I'm going to put in the show notes, and you guys can watch her little masterclass on that. I shouldn't even say little masterclass. It's like an amazing masterclass on manifesting using the quantum formula. Incredible.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Also, what she said she would do for the Power Femme listeners is give us a discount code. That's wow, that's so juicy. I love that. That's hot. For the Power Femme listeners, for the embodied confidence, right?
Yeah. For all embodied confidence, for all Power Femme listeners, you guys get a 20% off code for the program.
Wow, thank you. That's incredible.
Of course.
It already is an incredible deal, and so the fact that you're offering that is just so freaking nice of you. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I can feel how much your listeners trust you, and it just feels really great to be here and be a part of your community.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay, so before we wrap up, I wanted to ask you, if you were getting into an elevator, okay, and you were on your way somewhere, and it's like you've shown up, you're your highest self, you've reached it all, you've achieved the things, right? A little girl gets onto the elevator with you, and she's by herself, and she's going up, and you've got about 30 seconds to really impart your wisdom on her. What would you say to her, and how would you want her to feel after having met you?
So I know exactly what I would say. I do kind of want to share just a quick backstory of why I would say it.
Yeah.
I was in a medicine journey with a bunch of my friends, and I was coming up against some self-doubt, and I was like, I can't do that. No, I can't do that. I couldn't possibly. Who am I to do that? And the medicine just kept saying, of course you can. Of course you can. Of course you can. Yes, you can. Of course you can. And I was like, of course you can. Of course I can. Of course I can. Of course I can. And I changed, like literally the next day, I was so moved by it. It's so simple.
Wow.
But I was so moved by it that I changed my bio. There's in my bio now, it says, of course you can. And that's what I would tell her. And I somehow just like telepathically, she would know what I'm talking about. Like anything she wants to do, anything she wants to be, anything she wants to have, of course you can. And just keeping it simple to that,
That is so beautiful, Stevie.
Thank you so much, Heidi.
Oh,
I really appreciate it. And it's really lovely. I was telling Heidi a second ago that you're so in your element and you're so in your power in this podcast, and how you show up and how you like nurture like the beauty and the power out of someone, and that way you hold yourself and hold the other person. It's really really something.
I love you.
Yeah, I love you too.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime. Come back, please. You guys, if this is not a message to listen to your gifts and really do that thing that you actually are passionate about and you want to do, I don't know what is. Go sign up for Stevie's course. It's going to change your life. She's going to coach you through it. It's going to be amazing. I trust that it will be nothing short of life-changing.
And also really fun.
And also really fun. Oh, I got that from you. It gets to be fun.
Did I say that?
You've said that before, and I swear to God, it's my mantra. So no matter what you're dealing with today, guys, just tell yourself it gets to be fun. The struggle doesn't have to be there. It gets to be fun.
It gets to be a good time.
Yes.
And we like to have a good time in these parts.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Okay, guys, that was such a good episode. My body is beaming with confidence just from being next to Stevie. So I wanted to, of course, give you guys the code. It's going to be all caps POWER20 for Power Femme listeners. If you want to go check out Stevie's Embodied Confidence course, it's going to be amazing. I love you guys so much. It means so much that you're a part of this journey with me. And hit subscribe, give us a 5-star review, let us know you loved it, share it on your social media, and we will see you next time.